Was goody? Today I'm going to bring y'all a Baruuk Prime build / guide, and we'll be diving into how his abilities work and the best mods and weapons to pair with him. So let's just get straight into it. So right now I'm just going to show you guys what his abilities do. So to start off, his passive, it's really important, and it's the circle bar on our right. The goal is to get this bar as low as possible at all times because it gives us a damage reduction and will allow us to use Serene Storm as much as we want. To do this, we use abilities like our 1, 2, and 3. So first, our 1, it lets us dodge incoming projectiles, but we have to not be attacking. It also drains a lot of energy, and I just don't recommend using it. But it will lower our restraint bar. So his 2 is called Lull, and it puts enemies to sleep around him. The reason this ability is good is because it puts enemies to sleep, and there's no limit to how many he can sleep. It just has to be in his AoE. It'll also lower our restraint bar, so we can spam this off cooldown. His 3, it'll summon these projectiles that will disarm enemies' weapons and will also lower our restraint bar. So I use 2 and 3 to get our restraint bar as low as possible. And yeah. His 4 is going to be his main ability and what provides us with the crazy damage and red crits. His 4 is going to put us into his melee stance with his exalted weapon. You can mod this exalted weapon like any other melee weapon. But the thing with this is you can use it as it has its own stance. So if you press E a few times, it'll send out like these shockwaves, which is pretty cool. These also go through walls, which is and this part is like my favorite thing about him. But things that are also good are if you slam attack, this is super good, and his slide attack. I would use these to build up combo because when we hit to 12 combo, we just do literally insane amounts of damage. So now for the Warframe build, we have a lot of strength mods because I run Umbral Intensify and Umbral Vitality with things like Blind Rage and Transient. But what's important is Reactive Storm. His augment, it's going to give us a lot more damage and a lot more status chance. What's really good though is that whatever we attack, it'll match that damage type to match the enemy's weakness. So let's say we hit a Grineer enemy, it'll give us Corrosive, or if we hit Infested, it'll give us Gas, and this mod is just nuts. I also have Rolling Guard for survivability, and Handspring because I don't have Prime Surefooted. Also, for Arcanes, I have Arcane Fury. It'll just give us a lot more damage, and Strike because of more damage. These 2 Arcanes are just really good for melee builds. Alright, so for weapons, it doesn't really matter at all, really. But anything that can take out an Acolyte is really good, just because the Acolyte Violence takes you out of your abilities. So this kind of screws you over, so you need a way of killing the Acolyte without your melee stance. Personally, I use the Kuva Zar because it kind of blows stuff up and shreds a lot of armor. Also, for my secondary, I run the Kuva Nucor because it gives me a lot of status chance and applies a lot of status. Also, a good thing to have is the Dexterity Arcanes because it will buff our damage. And also, what's good is it buffs our combo duration. So having these 2 on will give us 15 combo duration, which is nice. So what's important, however, is what your melee is modded like. We want to have all 3 Gladiator mods on to get the 3 set bonus. This is because Blood Rush doesn't work on Baruuk's Desert Wind. Anything else after those 3 mods doesn't matter because you don't really use this melee anyways. The melee you do want to use though is your Desert Wind, and some of your melee mods will transfer over, so we will get some of the benefits, and that's why I run the 3 Gladiator mods. On Desert Wind, I have Corrosive built with some normal damage mods. I also have Gladiator Might, and a nice thing to have is Quickening so we can build up combo chance even quicker. Okay, and if you want to or have the Archon Shards, and you do have 5 red damage ones, I would put the melee critical damage bonus on all of them. But unfortunately, I don't, so I just have the 1 critical damage buff and 1 yellow shard with casting time. It's just really convenient to have that, and it could save you from dying while being animation locked. For my companion, I have the Carrier Prime just because I like the vacuum mod, and it's really nice in a survival mission. I also have enemy radar on it, which I just personally like. For my operator, it's up to you what school you run. Matarai, if you have the Matarai maxed out, it's probably the best because it just gives you a lot more damage. But I personally just run Naramon because I don't like to lose combo, and it's just really nice to have. Now a huge thing to keep in mind is do not use your normal melee to build up combo. It will interfere with the Desert Winds combo. If you do accidentally use your melee, just heavy attack to reset its combo. What we do want is to build up all of our combo in Desert Wind, and that's when we start to do the crazy damage. If you build up your combo on our normal melee, we will still get red crits, but it just won't do any damage. So we have 12 combo here. You're like, okay, we use our 4, and then you see red crits, right? Now, it will do a lot of damage, you might think, but in the late game, it just suffers. It doesn't do that much damage. And when you're doing your runs, you're just going to want to spam your 2 and 3 when they're off cooldown, and have your restraint bar as low as possible, and just use your 4 and build up that combo. Alright, that about sums up the build. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments, and if you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe, and peace.